People who wake up very early, is your city quiet when you wake up? 6 a.m. is very early? I very rarely see another soul on my way to work at 3:02 a.m. People that time of day are the best. They are awake with a purpose, will focus on themselves, and leave you alone aside from a quick wave or not hello. They also tend to be good drivers who know where they are going and don't do stupid unpredictable shit on the roads. Yeah, very quiet. There is a train that lays pretty heavy on its whistle early on, but I kinda like it best time of day. I wake up around 5:30 a.m. in a medium-sized city, and it's pretty quiet at that time. You get to enjoy the calm before the hustle and bustle starts. Rush hour here begins around 7:30 a.m., so if you want to beat the traffic and enjoy some peace, early morning is perfect. It's a great time to get things done without distractions. I don't live in a big city, but my neighborhood starts waking up at like 5. Which is really fantastic when you have a newborn who wakes up at every single noise. I live in a small town. Sometimes before 6 a.m. on weekends I won't pass a single car on my commute. I live in a small village in Germany with less than 100 people. There is no rush hour, the most noise comes from birds. Haven't seen a single car moving today on the road in front of my house. Houston? There's less cars on the roads before 6, but definitely not close to quiet. And by 7:20 or so you add like 30 minutes to your commute if you didn't leave before traffic starts. I love the city early in the morning, especially in the winter when it had just snowed and nothing was moving. But at the cottage, around 5:30 is when the hummingbirds would appear at the feeders and birds would sing, and the young male loons on the lake would be singing so loud and their voices echoed. We moved and are near a lake, and on a quiet morning with no wind, we can still hear the loons and the owls. Memories. I'm an early riser, but live in LA, so unless it's between the hours of 2:30 a and 2:36 a, it's rush hour. I live about an hour north of you, so it's pretty quiet anyway, but as someone who loves to go out at 6 a.m. when I'm traveling, I can tell you Rome around the Colosseum and Venice and even Paris was quiet. That's when they are out cleaning the streets and stuff. I love watching cities awaken. It's kind of addictive once you get started. I used to do paper route with my dad from midnight to like 7 a.m. An hour before sunrise is my favorite time even to this day. It's peaceful. I live in a mixed-use structure on the side of the building where the restaurant and apartment garage storage is, so that means trash trucks are there daily anytime between 6 a.m. 7 a.m. Usually closer to 7, but I've heard them as early as 5. And the noise ordinance generally exempts them, so hooray. I'm usually up by 7 anyway, so it's no big deal for me. Context: northern Indianapolis suburb in the downtown area. Everything is quiet. It's nuts. It's coming. I'm on my way and out the door before 5. There's a quiet stillness that allows me to fully relax and just be. Granted, I'm driving during this time, but highway hypnosis tends to kick and makes me glad there's hardly anyone else on the road. 4:30 a.m. to go to work from the suburbs to a big city. It's super quiet and the roads are empty. If I don't talk to myself, I get to hear the road rushing underneath. When I get onto the highway, there's about 2 or 3 cars there also going to work. Apart from cars, I see no people, but it still seems bustling because of the lights. On a typical day I get up at 5:30, it's still and quiet around. Peak happens about 3 hours later. I absolutely love the drive to work on the day that I get up at 5. Takes 14 of the time. So I travel for a living and also have to work early. A Massey 530 is almost universally quiet. Even the people who want they have to be out do their best to not disturb the quiet wind.